Historic downtown Oxford and surrounding areas, graphic design, branding and logo design packages, custom invitation design, screen printing, web design packages, and more. Wilkinson Creative Company's goal is to bring surrounding areas into the digital age of marketing and make local businesses thrive with our innovative design offerings. Visit wilkinsoncreativeco.com for more information and call today at 919-693-4622 to see your business grow.
It's the New Music Update, highlighting what's new in Christian music each week. Presented by NewReleaseToday.com.
I'm Jeremiah St. James, and this is what's new in Christian music. This week, we're taking a look at the best songs and artists of the year nominated in this year's We Love Christian Music Awards. Like twice nominated Torrin Wells in Pop Song of the Year category and the Video of the Year category for his new song, Fake It.
Still don't have to fake it.
And Love in the Outcome earns a nomination for Pop Song of the Year with I'm Not Lucky, I'm Blessed.
Hey, we made it easy for you here on Next Door Radio and nextdoorradio.com. Available now by way of the Google and Apple Store is the Next Door Radio app. Anywhere you want to go, you can take Next Door with you. All the local talk programs, all local sports, and a great mix of 70s, 80s classic rock you can now take anywhere you want to go by download the Nextdoor Radio app today. Available Google and Apple stores.
This is Lewis Bowling with Looking Back into Granville County History. Harold Slaughter, who runs Granville Barbershop on Hillsborough Street in Oxford, has probably cut more people's hair in town than anyone over the past 55 years or so. Harold has been cutting hair at this location since 1967. What is even more amazing is that Harold has never missed a day of work because of sickness in all that time. I asked Harold about this remarkable feat of never missing a day of work in 55 years. He said, "I have been lucky. One time I got sick, but it was on a Sunday. You have heard Frank Sinatra sing, 'I Did It My Way.' Well, I have been very fortunate, and I love what I do. I think the good Lord did it his way." Harold eats the same lunch each day, which he takes with him to work, a boiled ham sandwich and a pimento cheese sandwich. Harold eats these whenever he can in between customers, and he has quite a few of those. Some have been going to Harold for 20, 30 or more years. Another thing you can count on from Harold is that you will get friendly and professional service. He'll cut the hair on your head the way you want it, as he truly takes pride in the service he renders. Most of Harold's customers will agree. When you leave Granville Barbershop, you'll feel better because you'll look better. Many a person leaving after having their hair cut by Harold Slaughter over the past 55 years have had a little extra bounce in their step as they walk down Hillsborough, College, Williamsboro, and Main Streets, or other parts of Oxford.
The Smithsonian has arrived to Granville County. The Granville Museum is one of 6 host sites in North Carolina for Crossroads Change in Rural America. The Crossroads exhibit will be here from December 6th through January 19th. The museum is open Tuesday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. For weekend hours and a list of programs, visit www.granvillemuseumnc.org. Crossroads Change in Rural America is part of Museum on Main Street, a collaboration between the Smithsonian Institution and North Carolina Humanities Councils nationwide. Support for Museum on Main Street has been provided by the United States Congress. It's time for local talk here on Nextdoor Radio, nextdoorradio.com, and the Nextdoor Radio app. And good morning. Welcome to a local talk here on Nextdoor Radio, nextdoorradio.com, and the Nextdoor Radio app. My name is Trey Snyder. Phone number 919-618-9258. Normally, we would have, by way of video, Miss Kelly Siphon here in the studio at 109 Hillsborough Street here in downtown beautiful Oxford. But this time around, we changed it up just a little bit. I had the pleasure of heading down to her farm there in Franklinton, North Carolina. Again, she's with Applied Behavioral Happiness. And so what this next audio will be is my recording from that visit where we had horses, chicken, geese, we had rabbits, we had goats, a little bit of everything. And so let's walk through my process there at the farm with this next audio. Again, you're tuned in to Local Talk here on Next Door Radio.
Here now, and we've got, you can see that little pile with that mom over there, are the middle, and then we got some really young ones in here with Miss Wanda. We had to build very high walls. Hi, baby. Can I see your nest? Because of the hunters that use hound dogs.
Oh, yes.
They'll come running through. So it's always a balance between safety and freedom. See, the youngest ones, they're about 2.5, maybe 3 weeks old.
So, what, 3 of them?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, these provide a great time for how to use gentle hands, talk about delicate things, talk about limits as far as time and interaction goes. And gosh, they're just cute as buttons.
They are, yeah, they are cute.
And again, when we've got this, we've got a bunch of different things we can do. Hey, if we're going to take these babies out, we need to do something for mom. We need to do something for the family. We're trading.
Oh,
It's all
that's a good point, because again, there is, like we just witnessed in the horse barn, there is some jealousy when you're paying attention to one of the horses,
Absolutely.
and that can go, with the family as well. That's a good point.
And as we're looking at it too, if we just are always take, well, I want to pet this rabbit and I want to, feed snacks to this horse, and we're not giving back for the stuff that's harder, like the cleaning up and the moving water, things like that. We get into a place of these guys owe me something rather than we're in this together. And we want to make sure we don't get stuck in that point, because I think we all have been at points in our life where we felt that in ourselves, and we've all met people who live that as a lifestyle. And that's not something we want for our kids.
Walk me through that process of explaining that to a 5, 6, 7-year-old. How does that work?
Very, very slowly.
Yeah.
So first of all, we got to see where we're at. And from there, we'll look at, okay, let's brainstorm together one thing that could be kind to do. And at first it's going to be like, I want to feed them a leaf. Great. These guys are only drinking milk, but we're going to try. They're not eating the leaf. Okay, let's see if mom wants it. And we can talk about, well, why don't you think they're eating it? Well, maybe because they don't like this leaf. Fantastic. Let's go get a different one. It's not about finding the right answer. It's about being willing to try to solve the problem and having that perseverance through. So it's just how do I take your solutions and help you test them in a way that's safe, so that you are constantly working to find solutions and you're constantly involved in this process of helping.
Fantastic. Now, through your animals here at the farm, what is your favorite one to really interact? Of course, it's easier with
Favorites?
well, of course, that's hard to do. But my son, again, he would love to hold a baby rabbit.
Oh, yeah.
For example, we like to, as you probably tell on this show, I like to speak personal about my 5-year-old a lot. But he would love to interact with stuff like that. He would, be honest, he would probably run away from the loud noise.
Yes, and actually, let me put these down and let's go talk about those guys, because they're one of my favorites for a really interesting reason.
Okay.
Absolutely terrifying. But you'll notice, as we walk toward the geese, they want nothing to do with us. They're loud, but they just want space. So often there'll be our first lesson of how do we set boundaries, which usually is just a no thank you. So you can see if I walk toward them, no thank you, they just move away. And if they come toward us because we have food, we can put the food down and walk away and say no thank you and create those boundaries again. So what I'm going to do is grab some food, show you feeding frenzy, and then how we can work through that moment of holy smokes, this is a giant bird and it's very loud coming at me. I can stand up for myself, set a boundary, and leave this safely.
Fantastic.
Sound good?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, let me grab some food for these guys. Hi, ladies. Hi, girls.
How you doing?
So these ones will often be our stand-in while we're learning about how to be safe with horses, because they're not as big. You get stepped on by this foot, it's not going to hurt as much. We can practice grooming. We can practice setting those boundaries without having as big a creature with us. They're also great for working on how do we up our energy and how do we lower our energy. So like if I run across this field right now, especially with the young boys on the other side, they're all going to start springing and spraying and getting all over the place, and then they'll start headbutting. And if I don't bring my energy down, all of a sudden I've got all these big goats jumping around me. So we can talk about how do I bring my energy up? Like if I'm on a playground, it's a great time to bring my energy up. And then how do I bring it down? Like if I'm in a classroom, how do I bring it down? we can practice those skills out here.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So
In the meantime, they're very cuddly.
Yeah, oh yeah. So this one's a superstar right here.
Yes, that's Kiki. She's taken a year off because she's having a little trouble keeping weight this year, but she's a very good girl. That's her daughter, Chai.
How you doing?
She's very curious. Good girl, Keeks.
So walk me through the conversation that you would have with a child. Again, coming through the farm, you guys will have 4 or 5 max students at one time, and so bringing them out here, what would you do?
So I will always meet with kids one-on-one first to make sure that they are good to go in a group, because some just need to have some one-on-one time first. If we are, then what we're going to be looking at is planning before we go into an area what we're going to do. Like, hey, do we all want to run around? Great. What are we going to do when the goats get to be too much? Sort of like let's set up a red light, green light system where any of us can call red light and bring it down at any time. Different groups are going to have different vibes. So certain ages, we're going to go about it a little bit differently. Like if I've got little bitty ones, we might go in smaller groups. If I've got older kids, it might be like, okay, go in by yourself. Go for it. Let's let you guys have a little bit of freedom. Often we're going to start with, where do they like to be scratched? Let's figure it out together. And you can see very quickly that they'll give you signs where they like to be scratched on, and we'll be able to just take that time relaxing together before we start running about like crazy awesome lunatics, because that's part of it too.
What do you think, buddy? What do you think?
Chai, are you the happiest?
What do you think?
Got a new friend.
That's right. As you can see, there's a lot of room out here for any kid or adult or whatever to really get out here and just have a good time. Great time.
Yeah. One of the things we're setting up for later this month on the new moon is a stargazing with goats. And we're very excited about that.
Explain that.
Yeah, so the 21st is going to be a new moon, and I'm hoping that it'll be a beautiful, clear night, because it'll be nice and dark out here. You can see the whole Milky Way. Go out into the big pasture over there, had this group of goats and some little babies, not super small babies, but about her size, mixed in as well, and just enjoy checking out the stars and hanging out with goats.
Oh, now that sounds pretty good to me.
I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be fantastic.
I've been trying to take one of these home for the longest time, haven't we?
Like, welcome.
That's right.
And it's as we talked about before, it's not like animals are magical or farms are magical. They are fantastic contexts with which to learn skills that are really difficult to learn inside of a room. And we've got the context, so let's take full advantage.
So what is to get in contact to really set something like this up? What should they do first?
Certainly. So the best thing to do is schedule a discovery call with me. On the website, appliedbehavioralhappiness.com, there are red request appointment buttons everywhere. Any of those, you can schedule free 30 minutes with me. We'll just make sure that it's a good fit. Spend some time talking about exactly what you're looking for. Make sure that we've got you set up for the right group, if that's looking like a good direction to go. And then from there, we'll work on getting you scheduled in.
Fantastic. So how can what's the best number for you to contact?
Absolutely. They can call 984-235-1058.
Fantastic. Miss Kelly, I appreciate you very much for letting me kind of roam your farm here.
Yes.
Wait
till
today.
you see it in the spring.
That's perfect. Next time you mention, we'll walk down to the lake next time we're out here. But let me give you one last look of these.
Our star players.
I know, they are ready. They are ready to roll. But Miss Kelly, thank you so much for having us again.
Absolutely.
You can catch Miss Kelly Siphon from Applied Behavior Happiness on the Behavioral 911 every single Friday, beginning at 10 a.m. here on Next Door Radio. We'll see you later. And that was a trip to the Applied Behavior Happiness Farm. Miss Kelly Siphon, normally here in the studio. Again, my name is Trace. Now, what a great time that I had. My wife is extremely jealous. I showed her some videos. That video that we took, you listened, of course, by way of our website at nextdoorradio.com and the Nextdoor Radio app. But this video will be up on our social media. It is being uploaded as I speak right now. But if you missed this, you can head back to our website at nextdoorradio.com. Go into the program and recordings tab, and it'll be right there. Until next time, thank you so much for being a part of what we do here on Nextdoor Radio, nextdoorradio.com, and the Nextdoor Radio app. We will see you later. Right now, here's Casey and the Sunshine Band here to Get Down Tonight. Hey, we made it easy for you here on Nextdoor Radio and nextdoorradio.com. Available now by way of the Google and Apple Store is the Nextdoor Radio app. Anywhere you want to go, you can take Nextdoor with you. All the local talk programs, all local sports, and a great mix of 70s, 80s classic rock you can now take anywhere you want to go by download the Nextdoor Radio app today. Available Google and Apple stores.
This is Lewis Bowling with Looking Back into Granville County History. Harold Slaughter,